Chosen one. Brace yourself, a powerful offer is coming and it will change your direction. I need you to hear what I am about to say with every part of your attention, not the surface layer that processes words, but the deeper layer that recognizes truth before the reasoning mind has finished evaluating it. Something is coming toward your life right now, not eventually, not in some distant, unspecified future that you have learned to stop attaching timelines to because the disappointment of missed timelines has cost you too much. Now, in this season, in the specific chapter you are living through at this exact moment, the one that has felt stuck or uncertain or longer than it had any right to be, an offer is forming in the unseen dimension of your life, an opportunity, a door, a person or a conversation or an intersection of circumstances that is being positioned with a precision you will not recognize until you are already standing in the middle of it. And here is what makes this moment genuinely urgent, the thing I need you to hold on to through everything else I say today. Most chosen people miss their most significant opportunities, not because the opportunities don't arrive, but because when they arrive, the chosen person is not in a posture to recognize them. They have been in survival mode so long that their vision has narrowed to the immediate. They have been disappointed enough times that the protective mechanism of lower expectation has quietly closed the aperture through which extraordinary things enter. Today, I want to open that aperture back up. I want to prepare you specifically, practically, and completely for what is already moving in your direction. Because being ready when it arrives is not passive. It is the most active thing you can do right now. Let me describe something that I believe is happening in you right now, not the version you present to the world, but the honest interior version. You are tired, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, though you probably need more of that too. The kind of tired that accumulates over seasons of effort that have not yet produced the visible results that the effort justified. The kind that comes from believing persistently and against evidence that something significant is coming and then watching ordinary days arrive instead, one after another, unremarkable and undifferentiated. You have been in a holding pattern. And holding patterns are exhausting in a way that active struggle is not, because at least struggle feels like movement. The holding pattern demands that you remain ready, remain open, remain expectant. Remain positioned for something that has not yet appeared on the visible horizon, and remaining ready indefinitely for something you cannot see is one of the most spiritually and emotionally costly postures a human being can maintain. And so quietly, without fully deciding to, you have begun to narrow, to lower the ceiling of what you allow yourself to expect, to trade the full, open, expansive hope of the earlier seasons for a more managed, more protected, more careful version of belief that cannot be hurt as badly because it has not extended itself as fully. I understand why you did that. It was reasonable. It was self-protective. It was the intelligent response of someone who has learned that unguarded hope can be genuinely costly. But I need to tell you something directly. The narrowing that protected you from previous disappointment is the same narrowing that will cause you to miss, or misidentify, or undervalue the offer that is now approaching. And the work of today is to deliberately, consciously, with full awareness of what you are doing and why, open back up. Understand that the offer will not look like what you have been expecting. The single most important piece of preparation, I can give you the one that changes everything that follows, is this. Let go of the specific form you have been expecting. You have consciously or unconsciously developed a mental image of what your breakthrough looks like, what industry it arrives through, what person delivers it, what the conversation sounds like, what the numbers are, what the sequence of events is. You have imagined it so many times, in such specific detail, that you have inadvertently created a filter, a screening mechanism that evaluates every arriving opportunity against the template of the imagined one. And anything that doesn't match the template gets dismissed, undervalued, set aside as not quite it. This is how chosen people miss their most significant offers. Not through inattention, but through over-specificity, through the attachment to a particular form of breakthrough that blinds them to the actual breakthrough when it arrives in an unexpected shape. The powerful offer coming toward your life right now almost certainly does not match the template. It is coming through a door you have not been watching, through a person you would not have predicted, through a conversation that begins as something else entirely before it reveals what it actually is. Release the template. Become alert to everything. and trust that when the real offer arrives, you will recognize it not by how it matches your expectation, but by how it moves something in you that has not been moved in a very long time. Clear the clutter that is occupying the space the offer needs to enter. This truth is both spiritual and practical. And I want to address both dimensions because both matter. Every life has a finite amount of space: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual space. And in seasons of difficulty and prolonged waiting, that space tends to fill with things that were never meant to be permanent residents. Worries that have been running on a loop without resolution. Relationships that are consuming energy without contributing it. Commitments made from obligation rather than alignment. Habits of thought and behavior that were adaptive in the hard season but have become obstacles as the season shifts. This clutter is not neutral. It does not simply occupy space passively. It actively prevents the new from arriving by ensuring that when it does, there is nowhere for it to land. The preparation this moment requires is deliberate clearing. Not chaotic, anxiety-driven reorganization, but the calm, intentional removal of what no longer belongs in order to create room for what is coming. What conversation have you been avoiding that needs to happen? What commitment have you been honoring out of guilt rather than genuine alignment? What worry have you been carrying that, if you sat with it honestly, you would recognize as something you cannot solve by continuing to carry it? Clear it, not all at once. That is neither realistic nor necessary. One thing at a time, beginning today. And watch how the clearing creates a quality of space that was not there before, a readiness in your life that the arriving offer will find and recognize. Discernment is the skill you need more than enthusiasm right now when you have been in a long season of waiting. The arrival of any opportunity can trigger a response that bypasses the careful evaluation the opportunity actually requires. Relief masquerades as confirmation. Enthusiasm substitutes for discernment. The sheer fact that something is offering itself after so long in which nothing was creates a bias toward yes that can lead a prepared person into agreements they have not fully assessed. I am not describing pessimism. I am not suggesting that you approach the arriving offer with suspicion or with the contracted, protective energy of someone who expects to be disappointed. I am suggesting that genuine readiness for a powerful offer includes the capacity to evaluate it clearly, to ask the questions that matter, to take the time that wisdom requires, to assess alignment between what is being offered and where you are genuinely called to go, without the urgency of relief pressuring you into a decision that deserves more space. The powerful offer that is coming will survive careful evaluation. In fact, a genuine offer, one that is actually meant for you, actually aligned with your purpose, actually sent from the source that all good gifts come from, will not pressure you, will not manufacture urgency, will not require you to decide before you are ready. If it pressures you, slow down. If it requires a decision before you have had adequate time for discernment, slow down. The right offer will wait for wisdom, and the wisdom you bring to the evaluation will be one of the things that makes you worthy of what the offer contains. Your past rejection was redirection, and the path it created leads here. I want to speak directly to something that may be creating a subterranean resistance to the idea that something powerful is coming your way. You have been here before, or somewhere that felt like here, a moment of expectation, a sense that something significant was approaching, a preparation of your heart and your hope for an arrival that then did not happen in the way you expected. And the cost of that non-arrival, the specific disappointment of being ready for something that did not come in the form you were ready for, has left a mark. A reasonable, understandable, legitimate reluctance to open fully again to the possibility of something extraordinary. I want to reframe every one of those previous disappointments for you today. Every door that closed, every offer that fell through, every opportunity that appeared and then did not develop into what you believed it would. Every connection that seemed like it was leading somewhere, and then simply stopped. None of those were failures. None of them were evidence against your worthiness or your calling or the reality of what you are moving toward. They were redirections, specific, deliberate, precisely orchestrated course corrections that removed you from paths that would not have led to your actual destination, even when those paths looked promising from where you were standing at the time. The path you are on right now, the one that has felt circuitous, that has taken longer than it should, that has included detours you never planned is the path that leads to the specific offer that is approaching. No shorter route would have brought you here. No easier path would have produced the person who is now capable of receiving what is coming. The rejections were part of the route, and the route has brought you exactly here. The offer will require a version of you that the difficult season has been building. This truth connects everything that has happened in the hard season to what is now arriving, and understanding it transforms the relationship between past difficulty and present readiness. The powerful offer coming toward your life is not designed for the version of you that existed before this season. It is designed for the version that the season has produced. The one with the specific combination of hard-won wisdom, developed character, tested faith, and earned resilience that the offer requires its recipient to carry. Think about what the difficult season has built in you, the patience that only forms under the sustained pressure of waiting without resolution. The discernment that only develops through the experience of navigating real complexity without adequate resources. The clarity about what actually matters that only comes from having everything non-essential stripped away by circumstances that left no room for pretense. These are not incidental developments. They are the precise qualifications that the arriving offer needs its recipient to possess. They are the preparation that makes it possible for you to not just receive the offer, but to actually execute on what it contains, to sustain the direction it opens, to navigate the challenges it will bring, to steward the opportunity it represents with the wisdom that's significant. Opportunities demand. You did not go through what you went through despite what is coming. You went through it because of what is coming. And you are, right now, more ready for it than you have ever been for anything. Align your inner world with the outer arrival before it appears. There is a principle at work in the lives of chosen people who consistently recognize and receive their significant opportunities that I want to make sure you understand before your moment arrives. They are already living, internally, at the level of what is coming before it arrives externally. Not in a delusional way, not pretending circumstances are different than they are, not performing a confidence they do not genuinely feel, but in the specific, practical sense of having already made the mental and emotional adjustments that the new level requires. They have already begun thinking at the scale of what is coming, already begun making decisions that reflect the values of the person who will receive the offer rather than the habits of the person who has been waiting for it, already begun clearing the spaces, building the disciplines, and developing the relationships that the next chapter will require. This internal alignment is not superstition. It is psychology. The mind that has already been operating at the level of the arriving opportunity recognizes it immediately when it appears because it is already familiar. The mind that has been operating exclusively in survival mode will often fail to recognize a significant opportunity even when it is directly in front of it, because the opportunity does not match the frequency the mind has been tuned to. Tune your mind now, before the offer arrives, so that when it does, you are already operating at the level required to receive it fully. The people you are surrounded by when the offer arrives will influence your response to it. This is a truth that requires honesty, both about the people in your life and about how much influence you have been allowing them to carry over your decisions. When the powerful offer arrives, you will be tempted reasonably, humanly, understandably to bring it to the people closest to you, to share the possibility with them, to include them in the discernment process, to let their response to it be part of how you form your own. And for some of the people in your life, that is exactly the right thing to do. They have earned the trust required to speak into your significant decisions. Their perspective is genuinely helpful. Their investment in your outcome is authentic and unconditional. But for others, and I need you to be honest with yourself about which category is which. Their response to your opportunity will be shaped by things that have nothing to do with what is best for you. Their own fear, their own unmet desires, their own complicated feelings about your advancement, their own limited vision of what is possible, formed by their own experiences rather than by the specific calling on your specific life. Decide now before the offer arrives, when the decision can be made from clarity rather than from the emotional momentum of the moment whose voice gets access to your discernment process. Make that decision intentionally, and then honor it, even when the pressure to include someone whose counsel will not serve you is strong. The offer is coming to you, not to the committee. Let the people who have earned the trust carry the weight that trust justifies, and protect the rest of the process with the wisdom that significant decisions deserve. Fear and readiness can coexist. Do not wait for the fear to leave before you say yes. This is perhaps the most practically important thing I will say in this entire conversation. When the powerful offer arrives, when it is standing in front of you, real and present, and requiring a response, there will be fear present alongside the recognition. This is not a sign that the offer is wrong. It is not evidence that you are not ready. It is the completely natural, completely human experience of standing at the edge of something significantly larger than what you have previously inhabited. The fear says, "This is new, this is bigger. I have not done this before. What if I am not equal to it?" The readiness says, "This is what I was built for. This is what the hard season prepared. This is the moment that all of the previous moments were pointing toward." Both of those voices are present at the threshold of every genuine breakthrough. And the choice, the specific courage requiring, destiny-determining choice is which voice gets to make the decision. Do not wait for the fear to leave before you say yes. It will not leave first. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward with the fear present, to say yes to the offer, not because you feel fully ready, but because you understand. At a level beneath the fear, that ready is exactly what you are. Say yes with the fear, in spite of the fear, and discover, through the saying, that the fear was never the obstacle it presented itself as. Receiving the offer is only the beginning. Execution is where the direction is actually changed. I want to set an expectation that will serve you better than the alternative. The arrival of the powerful offer is not the change. It is the beginning of the change. It is the door, the opening, the invitation, the permission to enter a new chapter. But walking through the door and actually navigating what is on the other side are two distinct and sequential acts. And the second one is where the direction of your life is actually altered. Many chosen people receive their significant offers and then, through a combination of overwhelm, inexperience, and the absence of preparation for the execution phase, fail to fully develop what the offer made possible. They arrive at the new chapter without the habits, the systems, the relationships, and the disciplines that the new chapter requires. And the offer, however powerful, cannot overcome the absence of those things on its own. Prepare for the execution now, not just for the recognition and reception of the offer, but for the sustained, disciplined, intentional work of developing what it opens into something that lasts beyond the initial momentum. What skills does the next chapter require that you have not yet fully developed? What habits would serve you in the new level that you have not yet built in the current one? What relationships would you need in the execution phase that you should begin cultivating now? These are not hypothetical questions. They are preparation questions. And the answers you develop to them now, before the offer arrives, will determine how far the open door actually takes you. This offer is meant to serve something larger than your own comfort, the final truth, and the one I want to carry the most weight as this conversation closes. The powerful offer approaching your life is not coming simply to improve your circumstances. It is not being sent merely so that your financial situation can change, or your professional standing can shift, or your daily experience can become more comfortable than it has been. It is coming to resource something, to fund a purpose, to open a chapter of your life in which what you have been given, the gifts, the wisdom, the specific and irreplaceable contribution that only you can make, is deployed at a scale that your current circumstances have not been able to support. The offer is the vehicle. Your purpose is the destination. And the people who will be served by what you do with the open door, the ones whose lives will be different because you said yes, stepped through, and executed faithfully, are the reason the offer was sent in the first place. Carry that awareness into the moment of decision. Let it be part of what moves you when the fear says stop. Let it be the answer to the question of whether the offer is worth the risk, the adjustment, the courage required. It is not just worth it for you. It is worth it for everyone who is waiting on the other side of what you are about to build. Here is what I want to leave resting in you as this conversation ends. You have been waiting for something real, and the waiting has been harder than it needed to be, longer than it should have been, more costly than it deserved to be. And through all of it, something in you has refused to fully close, has refused to stop believing, has refused to let the accumulated weight of disappointed expectation extinguish the specific, persistent, unkillable sense that something significant is coming. That refusal was not stubbornness. It was not the inability to accept reality. It was accurate. It was the faithful perception of a chosen person who could sense, beneath the surface of what was visible, the movement of something real being positioned in their direction. The offer is coming. The door is opening. The powerful redirection that this season has been building toward is closer than any previous moment in your journey. And you, the person sitting in this moment, carrying everything this season has cost and everything it has built, are more ready for it than you have ever been for anything. Brace yourself, not with fear, not with the contracted, self-protective bracing of someone who expects impact, with the open, grounded, expectant bracing of someone who knows that what is coming is enormous and who has done the work, through every difficult day of this season, of becoming enormous enough to receive it. The offer is real. You are ready. And the direction of everything that follows is about to change in ways that will make every day of the waiting make perfect, unmistakable sense. Get ready. It is already on its way. If this conversation reached something in you today, if any part of it described exactly what you needed to hear at exactly this moment, subscribe. Every week we bring you the kind of deep, honest, spiritually grounded content that chosen people need when the moments that actually matter are arriving. Your offer is coming. Your readiness is real. And everything you have been through has been preparing you for exactly what is about to begin. Stay open. Stay ready. And when it arrives, say yes with everything you are.